Hey Alphas, it's Angelo with EarlyAccessMedia.com and welcome to episode 53 of Early Access Podcast. As you can tell, well, if you're listening you can't tell, but if you're watching the video you can see I have like a heating pad on my jaw. So I've had TMJ most of my adult life and woke up earlier this weekend and my jaw had locked shut, so now I can only open it like probably about an inch or so. It's been incredibly irritating. It's putting a pressure on the back of my head. I've been in a lot of pain, so I haven't really been able to do much writing. I played some games, but not a lot. Really, just like a couple games. I played some Rocket League, stuff that I knew. I didn't really have I had a headache all week, so I couldn't really sit down and concentrate on playing anything for review purposes. But I did play that game Duskers that I talked about in the last podcast, and they actually they have since released. Oh, not released, but I did that podcast before the game actually went live, and it came out on the 20th, and I'm happy to say that currently they're sitting at 66 reviews with 95% positive, and actually it's only 3 negative. I want to know what the negative one is. Delicate line. This guy wrote a very long review that only is only three people have said that they found it helpful. The guy's just mad about how roguelikes work and how procedurally generated games work. But still, Duskers, for the price, it is a expensive game. It is $20, but it is totally worth your money. It's a really good early access game, and I can't recommend it enough. So go check that out. I also played Destiny. Yes, the big budget Destiny game. I didn't think I was going to play it, but I broke down over the weekend since I hadn't really been able to do much except lay on my couch with a heating pad on my face. And I bought the Taken King Special Edition, like I guess that's what they're calling it, the Taken King Special Edition. Destiny, the Taken King. I think it's not like a collector's edition. It's I don't know. It's $80 and it comes with all the expansions. I don't even know how to find it now. So for the money, it's totally worth it at this point. So you get the full game. You get the first 2 expansions, and then the Taken King expansion, which comes out the second week of September. For $80 though, it's worth it because even used at GameStop, I think it was either $27 or $37, and then it was $20 for each expansion. Plus, you have to buy the Taken King expansion. So it wasn't really. If you were gonna do it, you just do it, just buy in completely. So it was $80. I probably played a few hours. I played all day today, so probably like 8 hours, 6 hours. It's a great game. I mean, the shooting's really good. So far, it's been a lot of fun, but I also haven't hit that endpoint game part of it where everybody was talking about how it was such a grind. But for me, it's been great because I haven't done anything. I haven't done it in a year. I haven't played it in a year. I played the beta, and the reason I didn't buy into it then was because there was talks about how that was going to be it. They were like, "Oh, this is it." Well, not them, but people were speculating whether or not all the content was going to be what was in that beta for the most part, and it was just the moon and Earth and the Crucible, which is the multiplayer portion of it. And it turned out that was true when the game launched. But now, being a year out, there's a lot more content. So for the $80 investment to get in there now, it's totally worth it. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it. A couple of my friends still play it, and I will ramp up until September when the Taken King comes out and they change over the entire the way the game plays, basically, because they're, if you didn't know, if you don't follow that game, they're dropping their light system, which was what they were using in lieu of a more traditional leveling system. So once you hit level 20, to get over level 20, you had a light number, and then you would have to get certain items that had a light bonus to get you to level 34, or light level 34, I guess it was called. But they're getting rid of that and going with a more traditional leveling system where instead of capping at a certain number and then using some arbitrary bullshit to make it so you're ready for other content, they're just going to put in a regular level cap, which I get it. They were trying something different, but it doesn't make sense when you actually break it down that way. But I'm excited. I'm excited for what that game's gonna have in the future, and I'm gonna keep playing it and see what's going on. But other than that, I haven't really played anything. I did actually want to talk about real quick the Indoor Kids podcast. If you don't know what that is, that's Kumail Nanjiani and his wife Emily V. Gordon. They do a video game podcast. It's more of a comedy gaming podcast on the Nerdist Network, and they're doing a crowdsourced episode of their show the end of this month. So the last episode of August that they're doing a crowdsourced episode. So what they're doing is they asked on Twitter up until the 26th. When this comes out, you got 2 more days. If you or somebody else you know, if you submit a clip to them, I don't know the email off the top of my head. If you go to Twitter and look up Indoor Kids, it'll be in their feed. But basically, you email them a 2-minute clip. There's a bunch of restrictions and stuff, like what to talk about, how long it's got to be. So good audio quality, less than 2 minutes, and they want positive reviews about stuff. They want you to talk about things that you like. For like 2 minutes. That's what they're asking for. But I brought it up because I submitted one the day it went up. I had actually gotten an email back. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I get the clip into the show. It'll help out the show. But it'll also help out Duskers, because the game I reviewed for my clip was actually Duskers. So hopefully that 2 minutes gets on there and you get some, I get some eyes on the website, and I also get some eyes on Duskers because I really like that game and it was something that I had recently played. So I'm excited to see if that makes it on there. And I think it's really cool what they're doing. They're building an entire episode based on these 2-minute clips of just regular people that are submitting, like, and want to talk and hit a bigger platform, or they have a very large fan base because mainly in part because of Kumail, with not just the Indoor Kids, but him being a stand-up and Silicon Valley and everything else that he's done. I mean, fucking hilarious guy. And then and the TV show not at midnight. It's on at midnight, but The Meltdown with him and Jonah Ray, and Emily V. Gordon actually produces that show. So go support them. Go follow them on Twitter. I think it's at Indoor Kids on Twitter. You can find Kumail on Twitter. I think it's Kumail Nanjiani, and Emily V. Gordon is at the Dynamite. I always forget her Twitter handle. Emily V. Gordon. It is at the Gynomite. The Gynomite. Go follow those 2 guys. They're great. They're funny. They're comedians. Always talking about game stuff, especially those 2. And the Indoor Kid handle is always talking about game stuff. So totally worth checking out. I didn't want to keep this too long, so I'm not going to talk about every game that launched since the last episode. There's probably like 7 or 8, but there was a bunch of them that had mixed reviews. So I picked out a couple that I thought were interesting, plus one that I thought was weird. Not weird, but just atypical of what we got. My jaw hurts and I can't really go on for too long, so this is going to be, relatively short. So the first game is this game called Shopkeep. Now this game came out August the 20th. It's $4.49, 10% off, usually $5. It's already got 89 reviews with 82% positive, which is pretty awesome. Now, the way this game works is it's a 3D first-person. I'm trying to think how to put it. It's like Holy Potatoes Weapon Shop, except you're not making. There's another game like this. You're running a shop in a fantasy world. So it's like those kind of games. There's another game that's like, and I cannot remember it for the life of me. Kind of like Holy Potatoes, but that's more about like making weapons. This is about running a shop, so you're selling other stuff besides just weapons. And also, it's a first-person version of that, so you're actually placing where everything goes. It looks really interesting. I'm watching the video now, and he's like stocking shelves with potions. So there's actual like characters walking into your shop, buying things off of shelves, buying the things that you're selling. It looks really cool. I think they did something that's kind of unique, especially with the first-person 3D version of this. It's kind of just like a sim where you're like, I have to build out my shop. I actually have to put up shelves. I have to put things on the shelves and then sell them. So I'm assuming price matters, and have to pick the right price point for things. It looks really neat. I would totally recommend checking it out, especially for less than $5, and with how high the positive ratings are, it can't be that bad. If anything, it's actually really good. So yeah, go check that out. It's called Shopkeep, and that's on sale until the 27th. So you'll have 4 days when this goes up, or 3 days when this goes up. All right, the next game I grabbed is one of the games that it wasn't positive. It's got mixed reviews. It's got 66% positive, which is actually a little bit more positive than I expected. It's $7, but it's 40% off until the 27th of August, so $4.19. And it's a first-person shooter, but the description is what made me pull this game out of the stuff that came out. And it says it's a difficult, minimalist FPS with roguelike and RPG elements. Now, I don't know about you, but difficult, minimalist FPS, like, all right, it's just a mismatch of words. Like, I understand the roguelike with RPG elements. However, roguelikes tend to have RPG elements because that's what makes them roguelikes. You go through the game and you play and play and play. You collect resources, you die, you spend those resources to power up your guy, so you can go back, get a little bit further, get more resources, die, buy more stuff, advance your character, etc., etc. That's the light RPG elements that are in these kind of games. Now, the other weird thing about this game is it's just like you have one life and one weapon. It's just a shotgun, it looks like, and apparently it looks like it can be upgraded. I don't even say the game's called Pump Action Captain. I don't know if I said that or not. So I guess that gives credence to the name of the game. Let's see. It says, Think Serious Sam meets R-Type meets The Binding of Isaac. So it looks like they picked a first-person shooter and a roguelike, and they're just like, it's like these two games. It does kind of look like Serious Sam, killing spiders and shit. I'm sure for the price, it's fine. Let's see, what does the negative say? Edit for people. Let's see. I don't even know what I spent the 30 minutes doing. Edited for people asking for a real review. I only got to level 11, just so people know. There are items you get randomly from enemies that have no idea what to do other than a bomb. The shotgun you have is like a sniper. It will shoot so far and will hit 9 times out of 10 where you aim it. No idea what to use the money on. No idea how to get perks. The developer well, this is nice. The developer responded to all 3 of the negative reviews. So what did the developer have to say here? Here he is. Would you mind telling us how we can improve the game? That's what the developer said. Oh no, here it is. No, I can only get to level 11 too. Your main objective is represented at the top left of your HUD. You only have one objective at the moment to exit the map. Find the teleporter, turn it on, and wait for it to activate. If you do so, you complete that particular map. The teleporter will be random every time, so you'll never know exactly where to look. A bit of a scavenger hunt. The longer you take to do this, the harder it will be. Blah, 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 blah. First will be trying random enemies. Some will be stationed around the... Load us up again after an update or two and let us know how we are doing. Well, that's a good response from the developer. At least he's honest about like what there is to do and the comeback after an update or two, which is what you should be doing before writing negative reviews anyway. And then you got Jim Sterling again talking about how it's an asset flip mess, and you know how a lot of like how it's a cash grab. Please get your facts right before people wrong impression as this guy named Jim Sterling has a thing. What does it say? Cash grab file game. There are worse games on Steam that cost 4 times the amount Pack does. Please get your facts right before you give people the wrong impression as this guy named Jim Sterling. See, that's one thing I don't like about Jim Sterling when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's just like he's quick to judge a game because it uses assets that are pre-made, but for the most part, I think he's pretty spot on. So, who knows? Who knows what's going on here? But Pump Action Captain, it looks alright. But what do I know? Alright, so the last game I got for you guys is called Orbiter. It's got 4 reviews. They're all positive, and it is $14.99. It is in early access. Now, this is a game that I don't quite understand. It's like an action indie game. I actually just got a key for this, so I will be checking it out. But the goal is to move around space. It says navigate the mysterious quantum nebula and dismantle its gravity machine piece by piece before it destroys the galaxy. So I guess you're like a little star and you're traveling around and you're destroying other parts of this machine, and you're gaining points in the process. It looks really neat. The graphic design is really cool. You know, the one review is in a single word, wow. Again, there's only 4 reviews though, so it's kind of hard to judge. But I will be playing it within the next couple days, so keep an eye out for the review and the first look video to give you a good idea of what it is. But it looks like it's a very really good looking game. The design's really cool. The color, it's very bright. It's very lively for a space like adventure game. It looks really neat though. Down on the price though, $15. You know, early access games need to get a little bit better with their price points, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. So, what are you gonna do? Well, alphas, that's going to do it for this episode. I need to get to bed. I need to try to figure out if I need to go to the doctor to get them to drill into my jaw and pop this shit open. Who knows? But as usual, follow me on Twitter. I've been streaming more often lately, but as usual, I'm consistently inconsistent. So go check that out. Something timed out. I don't know what that is. Well, it says it timed out. Hold on. What is this? I don't even know what this is. Edit scene. I don't know. When did that pop up? I don't know. Figure it out later. But yeah, follow me on Twitter, Early Access PC on Twitter. I've been streaming a lot more lately. YouTube.com/Early Access Podcast. Subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Click through the Amazon banner on the website. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I will see you, I don't know, next time. Thanks again. This is Angelo with Early Access Media and Early Access Podcast. And until next time, guys, have a good week.